Yeah, what up, dudes and dudettes? All right, today is the new rotation for the Hydra clan boss, and this morning I did a few runs and I got a one key nightmare for one key nightmare the Hydra. So I'm going to I'll show you my team, my thought process, and I'm going to explain what we need to bring, what we don't need, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you the builds, some substitute of some of the champions, stuff like that. All right. So as you can see on my main screen, right, the team 1 and team 3 is what I used during the last rotation. So I'm not gonna go into it much because last rotation is last rotation. This rotation everything is new, so it doesn't really matter. So this rotation I use a second team here. So I just played a video. All right. So this is what I used this time. Lydia to interact, Haas, Volgar, Chris, and Duchess. All right, so let's get right into it. So, all right, so I actually use this team. Actually try to use this team to auto the entire run a few times, like maybe 10 times, 12 times, 13 times. But the best I got so far was 33 million. It was not a one key, so I'm like, all right, and I wasted way too much time on this, so let me just manual this and get it over with one run. All right, so during this rotation, we have two heads that are the same as last time. Torment had it last time, Mischief had it last time, and this time this head, the head that put out the poison cloud and poison is new, and also the wrath head is in the starting rotation. And the first thing that that we notice is that on this rotation, the starting lineup there's two force heads. So what I'm trying to do in my lineup is not to bring any magic champion, right? Because obviously for the weak hits, and I don't want that to happen, right? So as you can see, the only magic affinity champion on my lineup is Royal Guard, right? I actually do not want to bring in Royal Guard. I want to bring in a second Husk for the enemy max HP nuke if I can. But this is my only Husk, so I'm kind of forced to bring in a Royal Guard or another damage dealer. But and also I have Royal Guard, pre-built already from last week. So I just have her on my team. So yeah. So let's go over the starting head real quick. This head on the far left, the first skill he is gonna do is Poison Cloud, and what Poison Cloud does is when it is on on the team, right? Like the Hydras practically take no damage, and to avoid that Poison Cloud, we either put block, buff, debuff on the Hydras, or we burn it. All right, that's that's the that's the only two things to go around it. Torment head, put fear on everybody, and there's two ways to counter it: either by bringing a cleanser such as Obama, or we use perfect fail. And there's two champions that can do perfect fail on everybody on on a rather short cooldown. One of them is a Tutura, Reinhardt, which is pretty new, and the other one Duchess. And Duchess is obviously better than Tutura, right, because of her passive and AOE healing. And then the third head is the head of Mischief. Head of Mischief have the highest accuracy and steals buff and spread them. Pretty annoying. And then the Wrath head that does a crap ton of damage. Can put taunt on our team. Can put attack up on himself. And every time his counter gets to 15, he nuke us. so so in my opinion, the most important stuff to bring in is block, buff, debuff. So then the opponent doesn't get attack up or the poison cloud, right? That's the most important thing. The second most important things to bring is decrease attack, in my opinion. So the wrath doesn't just wipe you fast. And the third is just weaken and decrease defense. So then your guys does more damage, right? So so I have I have 2 damage dealer, Husk and Royal Guard, and then a Duchess for the revive and block the fear. And I pulled 200 rack last week, extremely excited, and also a CVC, so I can book her up like that. Yeah. So I think like one thing for 200 rack, if you don't have 200 rack, so most people think about 200 rack just for her passive, right? That remove a debuff every time she take a turn. However, I don't like that. Is not the approach to building a successful Hydra team. Instead of finding a champion to replace another champion directly, think about what you're missing and what you need, right? 200 rack not just like doesn't just cleanse a debuff from your team. She also put block, buff, debuff, attack down, and also give your team speed up and increase defense, right? So like those are some of the things to keep in mind. Actually, this team is not the best team because I have a lot of replicated buff. So like I have 3 champions here that can do increased speed, which is not good. So before I ran this team, right, I actually tried Venus instead of Lydia, and that team did a lot more damage. But like that team is the team that I kept getting wiped at like 25 mil, 30 something mil, never 1 key. So I'm just subbing in Lydia here to try. yeah. I'm not sure if I mentioned before, but I ran this team as I want to run this team as a full auto team before. I ran it like 10 times, 12 times, 13 times, whatever, and it did not succeed. And for the Chris, right? And for the Chris slot, before I actually ran Kyoku instead of Chris, because Kyoku does decrease attack and burn on my opponent. So that is really good. So what I ran before was instead of the turtle and Lydia, I had Venus and Kyoku instead. And I think that is better if I manual my run. But the gears on Chris and my Kyoku is the same gear. Like they share the same sets, almost the same set. So and your boy is extremely free to play friendly and doesn't want to waste any silver. So so that's why I'm using a Chris here. So so if you use this exact same lineup, right? I think like one thing to pay attention to is before you put any debuff on your opponent, let 200 rack go first. So what 200 rack A2 does is put up decrease attack and block buff debuff on their entire team and then spread it, right? So if someone else goes before her and put up debuff, she might not spread the block buff debuff and decrease attack. So so that's just something to pay attention to. Let 200 rack go first, and then after that doesn't matter. So I think that is that. Oh, and yeah, 2 force head. So I don't want to bring any magic affinity champion. I think other than that, yeah, I think other than that, that's it. Most important stuff is a block buff debuff, bringing decrease attack so you don't get wiped, and then obviously decrease defense weaken. Okay, so let's just fast forward this to the end. So I think let's just start at 35 million. I think this is around the time where I start losing all my guys. I think okay, no, okay. So like in a span of a few turns, I lost my entire troop. Alright, so 36.6 million is the 1 key, right? So I still need 100k more to achieve it. And here we got it, and here we got it, and then Ninja Turtle, the last one standing, and there we go, 1 key nightmare. So that's just Lydia 2. It's just my reading gear, so it doesn't do any damage. Lydia in Arena Mastery doesn't do damage. Tuhan Narag and Chris both have War Master, I think, and Royal Guard and Husk. So I'm actually surprised here that Royal Guard did more damage than Husk, mostly because of the affinity. And when I show you my champions later, I'll also show you why I'm surprised about this part as well. Okay, so that's my one key. Super fortunate, first time manual, and one keyed it. Like I try to do like full auto run and try to like flex on YouTube or like flex to my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, but not always the best. All right. So let me just go through the champions that I use. So okay. So I use this Lydia masteries, my arena masteries. So what I'm shooting for is 400 accuracy. 400 accuracy is like 96-97% chance to always landing her of her landing her debuffs on the Hydras, and I want to run about 450 to 500 resistance. So so it will be like a 97% chance of resisting the all the debuff from the Hydra, especially the head of mischief that steal buffs and then spread them to all the heads. I really don't want that. So that is the ballpark where I'm trying to shoot for. Speed, you just need to go before the Hydra. So yeah. So like this team, the speed is everyone is just faster than all the Hydra heads. So I don't exactly remember the speed of the Hydra heads. Let me take a look. So 1 second. All right. So this graph is on Reddit. So if we take a look here, the head of mischief is 250 speed. So I want all my guys. To go before the head of mischief, right? I'm also running Duchess as leader with her speed aura. So I guess like everyone on the team had to be about like 235 plus speed. All right. So recently used. Okay. So who is next? Okay. So Duchess. As you see, it just regeneration set, speed set, immortal set works as well. What I'm shooting for is again 450 to 500 resistance, so she can resist the head of mischief. Yes, it's a +4 Duchess, but +0, +4 Duchess doesn't really matter. Like during the entire fight, Duchess is not close to dying. And then a 200 rack. Yeah, again about 400 accuracy. I really wanted to shoot for 450 to 450 resistance, but I don't really have the gears because right now she is in relentless. The reason she's in relentless is because your boy is broke. Not enough Lego book to book her out. He's extremely free to play friendly, and this is her masteries with War Masters to do a little bit of damage. So if I have these booked, I would change the relentless set to accuracy set or resistance set, probably resistance set to like pump the resist up. Yeah. Doom Priest is not a substitute for 200 rap, by the way. Definitely not. All right. And then we have a Chris here. This is like the Chris, like this. These are like the stat I want, right? 400 accuracy, 450 to 500 resistance, masteries, War Master, and then this is so before, right? I mentioned I was kind of surprised that the Husk did not do more damage. So this is my Husk build with reflex set. And then the Royal Guard is in Savage set, right? So for that comp on the AI setup, I have Husk lock out this skill. So he will only use the enemy max HP nuke or the A1, right? So what this means is that reflex, when this happens, it will always lower the cooldown of this nuke. However, as you see in the screenshot, somehow this does not do more damage than the Savage set. So maybe like next week, I'll need to put Husk in a Savage set and then run everyone the same way and then do a run. And then I can compare and see whether Reflex set is better or Savage set is better, right? Let's see. If I look at here, yeah. So refresh accessory is super important on them. This Roar Guard have one more extra refresh accessory. I wonder if that matters. Okay, okay. So that's my team setup. So I guess. Oops. So I can So I will. Yeah. So I can give a couple of recommendations that I think would a few champions that will be really good during this Hydra rotation. White Wither is good because of her healing, a lot of healing, right? And the increased defense because since the Wrath head is in the starting rotation, in some of the lineups that you will run, you probably do a lot of AOE's, and then you will need Wither, like Wither's OP healing to heal up your team, right? So I also try to use Mortuma Cobb during this rotation just for this skill, block buff debuff, right? I mentioned before, block buff debuff is insanely important during this rotation. So, and I don't want to run any Magic Affinity champion, right? So if we take a look, go to Yumilov, go to the champions that have this block buff debuff. Gerb Turk does a lot of damage to your own team because of his poisoning. So unless you're running someone that heals a lot, like maybe like Siphion, yeah. So unless you're running like someone like Siphion on your team, Gerb Turk will most likely kill your team. Kendra the Cyclone is not 100%. Lady Kimmy is Magic Affinity. I don't want to use her. Norak is Magic Affinity. I don't want to use him. However, Norak's passive is really good to mitigate damage. So if we look at a legendary list, it's actually just Mortuma Cobb that have a reliable block buff debuff, right? Phoenix is not 100%. Umbro doesn't do any damage. Ugo is Magic Affinity. Warcaster is 75%, I think. So yeah, so yeah, so I can't it's definitely an option, but then your boy checked, right? Look, check the skill. Extremely free to play friendly. I need at least 5 books. So if I can't even book my 200 rack up, why would I book up the Mortuma Cobb just for this skill? So that's why I did not use him this time. Someone who's really good. So I think Venus is so like in the Hydra team that I ran, Venus is definitely better than Lydia. But yeah, because like on that team, I already have a lot of protection via Krisk, and yeah, I already have a lot of protection, and I have a speed up from 200 rag and Krisk. So what Venus does is this, right? The HP burn that will do a lot of damage. So yeah, and she's inbuilt in a relentless, so yeah, she'll do a lot of damage. The burn will hurt the left head a lot. I think the head that put out the poison cloud, it takes 2 times burn damage, I think. So I think Hegemon is really good during this rotation because of the decreased attack and also decreased speed. Definitely usable. But my Hegemon is a arena build. I don't really want to strip her. So in the starting in the start of the video, I show you me using Counter Slicks during the last rotation. So even though Counter Slicks is a Magic Affinity, I think this she is still really good, right? Because like the A3 decrease cooldown. This doesn't really matter on the affinity. A2 hit all enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 100% chance of putting the decreased speed. So yes, it will weak hit, but it have 3 chances on the 4-turn cooldown, which is really good, right? And then her passive boost the terminal by boost her terminal by 5%, help her rotate back her skill faster. And since before I was running relentless on her, about 400 resistance as well. So I think if I during this rotation, especially this rotation, if I want to compare Counter Slicks and Kaimar for for their ability to lower the cooldown of ally skill, I think Counter Slicks is better, right? Because what Karma does is AoE, right? And then we have the Wrath Head. So we actually don't want the Wrath Head to do too much. So but for Counter Slicks, if you don't want the Wrath Head to take a turn, you can just use A1 because this is a single target. So yeah, so I think on my Brutal Key I will use Counter Slicks. And what else is good? Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I use Ugo last rotation, but I don't want to use it during this rotation because of Magic Affinity, and he only does one hit. So who else is good? Okay, so Obama. If you don't have if you don't have a Duchess, it's really good. Oh, so actually, right? I mentioned before, Kyoku is actually really good because of this skill. Decrease attack, and if you decrease attack, and if the opponent already have decreased attack, then put up HP burn. Really good. And then this skill is like it's very similar to Chris, offer you a lot of protection, and the passive also a lot of protection, a little bit healing. So the difference between Kyoko and Chris is that Chris have a skill that can heal himself, right? So if you were to run Kyoku, you should really run with Kyoku with someone who heal a lot, or give her a regeneration set or immortal set, something like that. Yeah. So I think Kyoku. Yeah. So I even booked Kyoku out, right? So Kyoku would definitely be on the brutal team. So watch out for that brutal 1 key brutal Hydra video coming soon, TM. And who else is good? Yeah, Sippy is good for a lot of healing. What else is good? Alright, you know what, let me scroll down to the epics. So I think during the rotation, Payma is actually really good because because decreased attack is so important, and Payma never weak hits as long as she crits, right? And she's void legendary, so she cannot weak hit, and her decreased attack is on her A1, and we have the head of mischief, and if the head of mischief steal your buffs, then Payma just steal it back with I think this skill appropriate. Who else is good? I think Stag Knight would be pretty decent. Yes, Stag Knight is actually pretty good affinity and has a decreased attack, decreased defense, so fits a lot. So yeah, so you want to bring champions in that can do a lot of stuff. Unless it's Obama, right? And you don't have, and you if you don't have Duchess, then you have to use Obama because his passive is just one of a kind. All right. So let me see if anyone did any keys since I did mine. Oh crap! Look at this. The Infinite did 10 mil more than me. What's the difference? Okay. Okay. So he used Venus instead of Lydia. Yeah, Venus is definitely better than Lydia. Oh, I still have a chest here. Let's see what I get. Any Gucci stuff? No. This is crap. This is okay. This triple speed. This is okay. Okay. Not really. Oh, okay. I skipped that one. Oh. Flat attack. Nice. Another flat attack. Classic. How's this? Attack again. Classic. Attack again? Garbage. Oh, are you kidding me? All attacks. All flat attack. Okay. What the hell? Yeah, this sucks. All my hard work for some flat attack. Alright. Alright. Watch out for the next watch out for the next Hydra video. Until next time, baby. Bye.